All right. Welcome to the CFG Gamecast episode number 9, a weekly podcast created by gamers and streamers alike to discuss the latest gaming topics from the previous week. We stream a new episode on Saturdays and we release it out to the podcast services such as with Apple and Google Podcast, Stitcher Radio, and Podbean. So show us some love. Follow us on our Twitch channels. Check us out on any of the podcast services. And so we know that we're growing and we're all growing together. I'm Davis Green, the CFG with CFG Games, and with me are a group of fellow gamers. I have with me today, once again, I have Super Frankie, who just recently did a Frankie review of the 1UP arcade machines, which you should definitely check out on youtube.com/thecomicfreaky. And it's freaking awesome. You should check that out. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good, really good, actually.
Yeah. Now you're like hooked on those arcade 1UP machines. Did you just buy some more?
I bought some more. I originally had the 3 you see in the video, which is like Street Fighter, Final Fight, and the Galaga. I just picked up Asteroids and Mortal Kombat 2 cabinets, and they're nice little machines. They're fun.
You should do like something like you should try to play like 2 machines at the same time and see if you can get the high score on both of them and see if that's a Guinness record. That'd be awesome.
The only game I've started out with is I did 2 players with Metal Slug on one machine, and that was tough. I was playing through Metal Slug X, and that was pretty cool. But I've never tried that. I might have to do that.
You're like, hey, that's not a good thing. Yeah. Play Ghouls and Ghosts and Metal Slug. That won't kill you at all.
Ghouls and Ghosts was the reason I bought that cabinet, because Ghouls and Ghosts is one of my favorite all-time games. I grew up on that. That was like one of my first NES games ever.
Oh,
yeah, that is a classic.
Yeah, and so I love that game.
Yes, awesome. And with me, I have the leader of the itty bitty Smitty committee. I got Smitty on the 3rd seat. What is up, brother?
What is going on? How are you guys doing? Welcome, and thank you for being here with us, interwebs.
Yes, and the interwebs is always glad to see everyone together. Yes, it's going good, man. Unfortunately, Sesh wasn't able to make it because she is partying it up at a convention, so can't blame her.
Yo, she stays grinding.
Oh my god, yeah. You know what's funny? Like I was looking at the list of stuff that was going on this weekend, because Flexus is doing Combo Breaker up in Chicago. Yeah, then we have people over at Phoenix Comic Con or Phoenix Fan Fusion.
Yeah, Comic Con. Shame.
Yeah.
Can't call it that.
Yeah. Then we have some more people going on at Fanime in San Jose, and I have another group of people over in Georgia doing MomoCon. So it's like 4 different things going on at the same time. And I'm just like, my god, this is crazy. So yeah, so I haven't had time to play anything this weekend so far. So yeah,
that's how the week has been for me. It was super. I did some freelance work and stuff like that, so I really didn't get a lot of chances to game it up this past week. I've got some in, obviously, the last couple of nights being stream nights and whatnot, and then I did a lot of playing and chilling out today, so it was nice. I was able to catch up and whatnot.
Well, what were you playing?
Division 2, trying to level up, man, so we can get through that. So we went through the raid. We tried to do the raid last week after the podcast and whatnot, and we learned the mechanics. Couldn't get past the first. We did get destroyed. We did. The LFG worked though. We were able to LFG people in to be able to fill the group, and as people were leaving, we kept like filling it and stuff like that. But yeah, I know me personally, I didn't feel like I was doing enough DPS. The mechanics make sense, but I watched the video and I saw it. Like, you got to do some serious DPS when you knock them down, and then you got to stay on top of the heals and stuff like that.
Not only that, but everyone has to be on top of it too. Like we can't have like doing like stay like when he goes down and you pinpoint that chest,
right?
Because unfortunately the dude heals certain periodic times and he just goes right back, so all your work could be completely wiped out in less than a minute. It's ridiculous, but it's hard, but I was having fun.
I was having fun too.
Yeah, we're gonna beat it, dude. We're gonna beat it sometime. So
I agree.
All right. Well, as always, let's get down to it. Let me pull up my thing. Where did I go? There we go. Here we go. each of us picks a new topic of discussion within video games from the previous week. The topic would or could be about a specific game or something that happened in the gaming industry. We don't want to talk about just our own topics. We also want you, the listener or the viewer, to participate in it as well. So, up at the top, if you go into a different channel, there's going to be a spot there that's a CFG Gamecast topics. Put in anything you want. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Just any topic that you want us to discuss at the end of the show. We choose one and then we will put it we will put it on for the stream. I think last week we were talking about favorite popcorn or favorite, like, what was it? We did, like movie candies and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was
That was
actually
a tasty
quite
discussion.
Yeah, we also we also do a little bit about other people hating popcorn, and I guess that was me. But still, but yeah, so you can check it. Yep, you can check it out over or just email your topic at the CFG at confreaksandgeeks.com. Okay, so since you're hosting on your channel, Smitty, why don't you go first, and we'll go from there.
All right. So for me, I know a lot of times that they've had these, discussions, especially in government and stuff like that, on the loot box controversy. Legislation has been brought up again for banning and doing rid of loot boxes. From what I've seen, whoops, I did not mean to do that. From what I've seen, and read a little bit. It is a Republican senator out of Missouri that is introducing this bill. And basically, they're saying it as a Protecting Children from Abusive Games Act. I'm kind of torn on this because number one, I absolutely agree. To me, it does feel like and let me explain it. It does feel like a form of gambling to me when it's a pay to win. Like I can get better equipment that's going to make me better at the game. That to me, I don't believe in that at all. If it's cosmetics, I don't have a problem with it. You know what I mean? You grind it out. You're playing a certain amount of hours and stuff like that. I think it's cool to be able to do that, be able to get skins and accumulate that stuff. So that's gonna, again, how they define that as far as what they're saying is legal and not legal on that end. But it looks like, and it sounds like they're going to be moving forward, or this is going to probably be one of the best shots that it has to move forward here in the United States. I know that over, I think it's in Europe, isn't it banned? Like loot boxes and a couple other places, that stuff is completely banned. So I wouldn't be surprised.
Certain areas are.
Certain areas, yeah.
Belgium, I believe Belgium has proved it to be super banned. Was banned, but like not all of Europe is on board quite yet.
Right. But even the fact that there are any countries that have gone forward with it, I think this might be a good shot for them to actually pass some sort of legislation here in the States. The con to this, however, though, is when you start messing with companies' money, they'll find other ways to make that money. And what does that mean for us? No more loot boxes, but now the games are going to cost $80 and over $100 in Australia, or you know what I mean? Because they're going to make up for that money. They're going to say, well, the law says we can't do this. We got to make up for this so we can be profitable, even though year after year they're making record profits. We're going to get, this is a tough spot because no matter where it, go, I see it's kind of like that double-edged sword. You know what I mean? Either they continue and again, I don't know how you guys, we'll hear soon how you guys feel about loot boxes and that stuff. But you know what I mean? We'll continue down that sales model, if you will. Them just giving us incomplete products and throwing loot boxes in and people paying. I can't get on board with that. But at the same time, if it does start getting regulated, where is that monetary shift? Where's it going to shift to? Because it's going to shift somewhere. It's not going to just disappear. It's going to shift somewhere. So I don't know. It's definitely something I'm going to be following for sure.
I feel that there is a little bit of a slip. You're totally right. I personally think that it's a slippery slope. This is a real gray line. This is the problem because my whole biggest problem is this. You're right. Pay to win services, completely understandable. That should be 100% banned.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, and I definitely think that they should never do that to say, oh, you want the real ending? Well, you only have to pay $10 for us to do that. That's really petty, and it should not. And you already paid $60 games. Now, when it comes to cosmetic, that's also a gray line to me because the thing it's just like when you go to one of those concession stands or the crate games. When you play the crate game, you're paying $5 or $1 or whatever to get your chances to get that one toy, but you didn't get that toy instead. You get something else that you didn't go in, and you do it again. Uh, I kind of feel that that shouldn't really. I don't think that it should be regulated because it's just a matter of wait. Who's typing? What is that?
I'm so sorry. That's me. I apologize.
I'm like trying to figure out who that is. I'm like, what is going on? But yeah. So I kind of feel like the biggest problem is that like when you try to regulate something like that, because they're going to say that's gambling. I mean, it is gambling. I mean, let's not sugarcoat that as gambling, but it's also I mean, it's just chance. And then the only reason why that that I don't think it should be a level of regulation towards it because like when you have ideas like for instance Overwatch has probably gotten is really successful because the ways are these loot crates that you're getting from this, but people know from the start that these chances to get this is still like it's still limited, but
Mhm.
it's not incredibly unfair, or you're not paying like, oh, here's $10 for you to have a better chance to roll for this thing. You're basically just saying, okay, here's $10, I got 10 crates, let's see what I get out of those 10
Yeah.
crates.
Mhm.
I mean, and I don't think there's a problem with that. I mean, now depending on saying, okay, there's obviously an algorithm of like saying, okay, you're going to get a 40% chance you're going to get common stuff, 30% chance you're going to get some stuff that's rare, and maybe like purples or incredibly rares. It's a lower chance. That's how it normally is in real life. is where I'm coming from. But yeah, I'm sorry. What were you going to say, Frankie?
Well, like when you were saying Overwatch is probably one of the I think games that do loot boxes right
Yep.
compared to the other ones. Because yes, it is cosmetic, and yes, you aren't gonna put money in and get the one costume you want, but they do give you a good amount of in-game currency just playing the game. Like you're gonna be getting coins from those loot boxes you get for free, let alone the ones you buy. I have put some money in Overwatch just because I love it so much, but as a whole, I've never really like even when I ran out of like funds in the game, I've accumulated so many points to get all the costumes I've ever wanted. I've never really had too much of an issue.
Oh, you're smiling, Smitty, so you got
I'm
something in
guessing
mind.
you put all the
No,
money
no,
into
no,
it?
no. Sorry, I was smiling about something else. I was reading chat.
Oh, I'm sorry,
Sorry.
Frankie.
Oh,
Continue.
no, you're good. But I mean, but yeah, there are quite a few other games that just don't do it right at all. Like you said, the play to win, totally bad, should not be a thing at all.
Yep.
Like,
Mhm.
I think the main culprit of those is mobile, right? Because I think the only console game I could think of that did that was Battlefront, right? Or am I wrong?
Battlefront, Lord of the Rings was another one.
Well,
Surprisingly,
Lord of the Rings was a single player experience. Like,
well,
I mean,
it's still. I mean, like
I
you
still
had to
don't-
pay.
yeah.
There was a paywall. There was a paywall to get the real ending. I mean, like that's insane.
Was there?
The second one,
Yeah,
the
yeah,
second one was a
dude.
paywall
I thought
to get
it
the real
was.
ending.
I thought it was. Well, wasn't it like a bunch of crap you had to do? Like you had to keep playing these runs of like what are they like not tower defense, but weren't there like these like
I don't know, but I mean, like let's take off Lord of the Rings, Mass
Okay.
Effect 3. Mass Effect 3 was one. I mean, you had
Was
the,
it?
to get the real-
I never
yeah,
played that.
the tra- well, I'm sorry, not
No,
Mass Effect 3.
the real ending was free. It was a free DLC.
Not Mass Effect 3, Battlefield 3. You could pay to get all the guns at the beginning of the of the game.
Once again,
Yes.
EA.
Boo.
EA
Yeah.
again.
That's what
Yeah.
I'm saying. It's like you can't. I mean, those kind of things are ridiculous. You shouldn't do it because you're basically saying, "Hey, let's play Mario Brothers." Hey, but if you pay another $40, you unlock everything. What's the point of playing the game at that point?
Exactly.
And what do you think about like
Yeah.
they're not loot boxes, but like where you pay for experience and stuff like that. Like or you
boost?
pay for like
the
experience
booster
boost. Like, I
packs
know
and stuff.
Assassin's Creed
Yeah.
Odyssey does like $20 or $10. You get 50% experience
Nope.
boost and shit.
Nope.
I don't think I do. I honestly don't.
agree.
I'm not usually, but like it's like I said, it's a weird slippery slope to me when it comes to that. There's like, you know what they need to do? They just need to sit down and they need to figure out. This is what, like, okay, like you said, I think the biggest culprit of this is going to be MOBAs. Not MOBAs, but
Mobile
online.
games.
Mobile games.
Those are the
'Cause,
majority
like,
of them. Like, how was it? Castle Clash Royale is one,
yeah.
right?
Grand Blue
Like-
Fantasy, all these different ones, like Fantasy Star, not Fantasy Star, but like, you know, Fire Emblem, all those kind of games that like says, okay, you need to get a 4-star hero to get to this point. But like, it is incredibly rare to get those 4 stars. You have to, and then the only way you can upgrade is you have to get the same guy like 6 times to get to the next level. It's like that kind of stuff is a pyramid scheme. It's where I look at it. But like when it comes to just cosmetic, I don't know, Smitty. I would have to say no. They don't need to. They don't need to regulate that. I don't think that. I mean, like the way I commonly see. Now the only thing they could regulate is the algorithm on how common or how often those things drop. So like they can't say you get like 100 of commons all the time and you get the same duplicates. That could be something that they could regulate.
And I think that they did. I think there are some regulations in place that if you spend a certain amount of money or something like that, you have to be guaranteed like a certain tier drop, just because there has to be a monetary value.
It's like a gold is like a rare is guaranteed within like, you know, like 52 boxes. So if you happen to buy 52 boxes, you're gonna get at least 1 gold.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
But,
so it's like I don't have it, but like the free stuff, yeah, you're right. I don't think that there has to be any kind of regulation towards that. The thing is though, is how do you then do you differentiate between the two? Do you then, you know, regulate one whereas the other one's like, well, this is exempt because there's no monetary value to it? Or are you just saying no in general, no regulations?
I'm saying I'm saying there has to be partial regulation, but I think the level of regulation towards cosmetic is nothing. It's gonna be like it shouldn't be. It should not. There shouldn't really be like cosmetic wise. If they can get it to a level of like, you know, how often these things drop, and then they can pinpoint how often to say it's a level of fairness on what you're getting. I'm perfectly cool with that. But like I think certain things has gone away with it. Like I said, like mobile is probably the worst ones of them all because everything is it's freemium. They go to that freemium model that they are depending on you to spend money to get to get the chance of what you're needing to get. Like I remember, what was it? I think it was Final Fantasy Brave Exvius. I love that game. Yeah, I love that game for a long period of time, and then all of a sudden they changed their payment system, and then it made it mandatory to get these 6-star things, which was virtually impossible to get. Or you can get a 6-star, but there's so many limiters for you to get up to it. It's like it's going to take you a lot of money and a lot of time just to get to that point.
Right.
That's unfair in my opinion.
What was the Final Fantasy game where you tap the characters and they go and attack?
That's Brave. Yeah, that's Brave.
They're all pixel. They're all pixel characters. You have to like touch the screen as much as you can. And you get rare characters from all the Final Fantasy games. I put money into that. And I regret it. Was that Brave Exodus?
Yeah.
They got you. They got you.
Yeah. Yeah, so I mean, that kind of stuff definitely needs to have some sort of like regulations on what you can do, because that one is depending on people to put money in on it for it to survive.
Right.
But the second that they're going to mess with like how Overwatch is doing it, or like, I mean, how even how Division 2 is doing it, and stuff like that. Well, what does it say? Is that
all
the bravest? Okay.
That one I put so much money into with those stupid loot box characters because I wanted to get Fran, I wanted to get these characters, and I'm like, oh, they gave me like freaking stupid characters like I don't want
Shadow or Edge or any of that.
Well, like, oh, here's Onion Knight from Final Fantasy 3. I'm like, oh.
I mean, like, yeah, but like,
that's how they get you.
Okay, but here's a good question. Like, has anyone, from the most part, ever complained how Overwatch did their loot crate systems?
They have the least complaints of
everyone.
I have not seen. I'm sure there are out there, but I'm
Yeah.
not seeing it as much as what you would see, like how EA
Anything EA
or
puts
any other
out.
ones has done. Yeah, exactly. Or anything like that, because that shows they did it right. And
Exactly.
then and I feel like there's definitely an environment where people can do it right. If you want to
Right.
do it right, then just probably copy it from how
And-
Overwatch is doing it.
And it helps, like, unlike some other games where, like, a lot of these other games, they're not around forever, or they, make a new game every couple years. Overwatch is one of those games where they made one game in 2016 and they do nothing but free content, and you can still
Yeah.
buy the game for like $20, $30 sometimes. So, like, it's
Yeah.
not. Yeah, getting all the other stuff for free is also a nice plus. Seeing that, if I really want to get more costumes, I can put money into it, but otherwise, I'm getting everything I want nonstop for free. So I think that's another reason why they get a pass, because constant free
It's not even-
updates.
Well, it's not even only the pass though too, because I mean technically they set it up for success.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like even just the pass itself. They had an idea on how this would work. They had an infrastructure. They had an infrastructure and the deliberate system of how the extra payment was going to work for us to be longevity. Because this is on their what year are they? Are they on their third year or fourth year? I can't remember.
2016. So this is the
2016.
third
This is
year.
the
This is
third.
the 3-year anniversary is like this month.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so,
and it's going. The
so, I
event's
mean,
going on right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't. Yeah, so like I mean, they planned it out. They did it correctly, and they don't need to worry about it. Like Siege is another one, in my opinion. Rainbow Six Siege is the same thing though too, with their level of cosmetics that they've. It's been around. It's been around for years. It's been around for like at least for three years. I mean, it was really slow at the beginning, but now it's picked up to a point where you see a lot of different cosmetics and stuff like that. And then it's like, I mean, it's possible, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I don't think that they should regulate that, but they should they need to look at something else beyond that. That I think is the bigger problem. Is my point.
Yeah.
Is my level. I mean, I think that's pretty much it. Okay, so soapbox. I'm off the soapbox.
Yeah, I feel you on that. I mean, it's
Alright.
one of those things, man. That's gonna be. Yeah, it's gonna. We'll see where it goes. We'll see where they go with it.
Oh yes, I totally. Yeah, I just hope that they do the right thing. That's all I pray.
Yep.
But it's a Republican in Missouri, so it's already strikes him. I'm just kidding. But
Wait,
still.
you totally cut out.
Yeah, you cut
Sorry,
out.
you
I
cut
said-
out. Yeah.
I said it's a Republican. It's a Republican in Missouri, so let's see where that's going to go. That's already 2 strikes in itself, so we'll see.
Dang,
just kidding.
making a
I'm
stance.
just kidding. Shots fired. Just kidding. I don't want anything to be like, how dare you? No, I'm good. No. All right. Frankie, you're up at bat. What is your topic?
All right, so it actually happened today, but the World Health Organization has just decided, they've been working on it with the International Statistical Classification of Diseases, and they added video game disorder to that. So the ICD-11 is what it's known. It's a video game disorder is now officially a thing, and I'm going to go ahead and let you know what affects what constitutes as a video game disorder, like if you have it. So a pattern of persistent and recurring gaming behavior which may be online or offline, manifested by here's the first one, impaired control over gaming, so like your frequency, intensity, and duration of how much you game. 2, increasing priority given to gaming to the extent that gaming takes precedence over other life interests and daily activities. So pretty much you do gaming before, bathing or before eating or before doing anything that you need to do in your life. And number 3, continuation or escalation of gaming despite the occurrence of negative consequences. The behavior pattern is of sufficient severity to result in significant impairment in personal, family, social, educational, occupational, and other important areas in functioning. So pretty much if just gaming is everything. So this has just got, they talked about this last year, and they were going to work on making this an official thing, but trying to remember, something pushed it back. The ESA and other organizations in the video game industry pushed back the decision on making it an actual thing. So, but as of earlier today, it's official, and as of January 1st, 2022, video game disorder is a thing. So what are your guys' thoughts on video game disorder being a thing? Like, personally, I've been gaming forever. I guess there could be some people out there. I would presume, like, okay, this is out of the blue. I'm not trying to pinpoint anything. I presume some people, maybe with some mental illnesses, might be more affected by something like this. But I think a normal consumer or person is not going to have a gaming disorder, but I could be wrong.
Mm-hmm.
What do you guys think?
Why don't you go for it?
For me,
Go for it.
for me, I've seen, you know what I mean? I've seen the effects of something like this. And I think, you know, on a
But, like,
personal level, I'm
wow.
not going to name any names or anything like that. But,
Yeah.
you know, someone
Come on,
that,
name
that I
names.
know and
I'm just kidding.
yeah,
Don't name any
spill
names.
the beans, spill the beans.
Spill the beans.
You know, they basically their life became the video games about video games. It was World of Warcraft is what
Yeah,
it is,
well,
and that's
yeah.
the reason why I will never pick up that game because I also have an addictive personality. You know what I mean? So I already inherently know that. You know what I mean? Like if I know that's in there within me. But to watch somebody where they're just kind of not devoid of responsibility, not doing everyday things that should be and need to get done. I absolutely think it's a real thing, and I think it affects more people than we realize. Again, it's hard for me to fathom being that deep into a game. But I've seen myself, I used to be huge into Destiny, like, I'm talking about like just ruining relationships and stuff like that. Because like, look, we got raid tonight. Oh, you want to do something? Now I'm gonna sit here, I'm gonna drink some beers, and I'm gonna do this raid for like 10, 12, 16 hours. You know what I mean? Like it's some real stuff. So it's like I could see how it's easy to cross that line, and you know what I mean, depending on again, I don't think it's just it definitely is coupled with some other things and that are within a person's character or personality. You know what I mean? So I don't think it's just I just think that there's something there that again, you get a good feeling from playing video games. I do,
Yes.
so you're just kind of I always want to I always want to do that, and not only that, but now it's it's a lot more socially acceptable, to communicate and meet people online and stuff like that. So it's like, well, why wouldn't I be online? Why wouldn't I? I'm socializing. I'm, this and that. But then, at the same time, I'm not washing my ass, or I'm not, going and getting groceries, or you know what I'm saying? It's a slippery slope again. And I think it's, I could see this. To me, I think this is legit, and I'm curious to see and kind of where they explore and what they learn and stuff like that from this.
Yeah.
I'm kind of impartial personally. I'm not really and I really hate when they because like when they say that this is a disorder, like I mean they're classifying this as an eating disorder, essentially, like kind of like that kind of level of stuff, like a game
that's
and stuff like that. Yeah, it's hard. It's hard for me. I mean, like it's hard to look at to think kind of outside of the box towards this, but like because the biggest thing is like you're right, like there's multiple factors in my opinion, like there's multiple factors to kind of get to that point. You don't just get to that point is what I'm is
There's
where
probably
I'm
other personal things in your life, like family related, or
exactly, because like my biggest fear is this. Yeah, my biggest fear is this, and this is the biggest problem I have when they make things disabilities or disorders and stuff, is that means that they're going to have a reason that this could be the crutch of something happens, like let's say heaven forbids, like Columbine or a school shooting, that they're going to say, oh, this person had this kind of disorder, and that means
right.
and it totally completely takes the responsibility off of the individual to do that kind of thing, and then they're going to say, oh, it wasn't him. This guy's a good kid, but it's because of his disorder that made him go into it. And that's where I always struggle, is just that like it's like, yes, there are people out there that have that love gaming to a point that they just totally void everything out, like responsibilities and everything out there. But once again, this is not something that you just come and it occurs to it. it's something that you've constantly been like it's either been groomed you've been groomed into it, or it's either that you were just accepted to go instead of doing your homework, your parents either didn't like you, just no one cared, and you could just play for 20 hours in without no one ever doing anything about it. It's really tough because like I don't have an opinion. I can safely say I don't have an opinion on it because like I don't like it when they do this because now it's gonna be once again I feel like this is gonna be another reason why someone's going to void out responsibility if anything happens. I mean, if any sort of circumstance happens, it's like, oh, this person's not doing good at school. Oh, because he has this kind of personality. He has it says he had AD&D. He has a video game disorder.
He has a video game disorder.
Yeah, because I know that's what's going to end up happening, and that's probably what ESA was fighting for. But it was because of because it's going to be so easy. Because like the biggest problem,
more meds too.
Well, yeah, and meds, yeah, exactly.
Meds.
Because the biggest problem I've had, and it's the funniest thing I've had, was like when I talked to I had a coworker that was like 50 something years old, and he strongly believed that all the bad stuffs, the shootings and stuff like that, was because they were playing games like Grand Theft Auto and something like that.
Yeah,
and then like so like I'm just saying that like that's going to open up a door of that kind of stuff, and I feel impartial, like saying yes, people who will have that needs help will definitely need to seek help for it. But to call it a disorder or to call it an official disorder where you're going to have to take medicine and stuff like that for it is a little too extreme to me.
Yeah, I agree.
But yeah, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. I mean, like, yeah. And like I said before, like I'm not saying that there's no such thing as a disorder for this, because there sure as hell is. Because like people who lived through World of Warcraft, I mean, we all lived through all that nonsense, that craziness, and then you even admitted with Destiny 2 as of late, and then like I was a big Final Fantasy 11 fan back in the day too, and then I can probably admit there's times where I voided responsibility.
I've done that with Monster Hunter.
5 6 hours.
I've done that with Monster Hunter. I've taken like when Monster Hunter 3 came out, I took off so much time from work. I ignored things. I had bags in my eyes.
Right?
Yeah.
My friend, I could see it, but like, it's man, it just seems like such a big thing. Disorder.
I just feel it's so extreme in my opinion. I really feel like it's so extreme to say. But yet at the same time, it's like, yes, this is a serious issue that we need to figure out and to do it. But I really don't think that either pills, maybe I mean, I think at best maybe talking about like psychiatrists and like a strong like natural change of things. Like you can't you might be the person that you say that you have a very addicting personality, so you may not want to be playing games. You know, just like an alcoholic don't want to be staying away from the bottles. You may have to stay. If it's that extreme, stay away from the gaming, unfortunately. But like, oh man, I don't know. I mean, that is so interesting.
So what is it though? What is it though about the fact that it's considered, or because it sounds more like it's a hang up on the word disorder than the fact that there's actually something that, you know what I mean, people do have an issue with. But like, what does like calling something a disorder, like, does that put that into a different classification? Or, you know, because I mean, even I mean, take away that, I would imagine the treatment would still be the same. And I'm not for feeding people meds and stuff like that. Or do you just think it's more of you know, people's mentality and thoughts toward it are then, you know what I mean, they're like, oh, but it's a disorder, so, you know what I mean, it kind of ramps it and like kind of levels it up.
It's probably going to be more like communication. Like, they're going to be like circles and groups of people. Like, oh, they all have disorder. They have to talk about stuff. Because I know people who have like other type of disorders and like, you know, like almost like Alcoholics Anonymous and stuff like that. I think it's going to be more like that. I mean, there might still be meds and stuff, but I'm not sure what they would do other than make you tired.
Right, I think extreme levels will have to be like meds.
Like, okay, you're going to be so tired you can't play games. So you're going to be sleeping and then doing whatever you had to do to But yeah, I think it's gonna be more like a social communication groups and stuff.
I would seriously think that. Yeah, I think that would probably be the best way to do it. But like, come on, dude. It's like, well, usually when they call something a disorder, that means there's going to be there will be the extreme cases where there's going to be drugs that are going to be involved to kind of even you out to do it. And
Right.
that's where I kind of don't agree with is where you call it a disorder. When you call it an official disorder. Because I mean, it is a disorder. There's no arguments about that. That is strongly is a disorder, but I don't know if you would want to like. I don't think it's a disorder where you could just where a doctor you go to a family doctor and then they say, hey, you have gaming disorder.
Right.
No,
right.
It should be a psychiatrist based one.
Yeah, or something like yeah. So I mean that's where it's kind of 50-50. But then again, like I said, I do have friends that were like this too before, and then when I think about it, but like at the same time, I kind of want to see the level of extreme. The biggest thing is that people just need to be responsible of their own actions when it gets to this level of extremity, because it's easy to point the finger to a gamer saying, "Oh, this person shut up this scope because he doesn't know the difference between real life and fantasy." It's like everyone knows shooting a person is bad. All right. I would surely as hell. I will give benefits of the doubt that people will have to know that if you shoot a person randomly, it is bad. So to say that they don't know the difference between that means that you are beyond there's something more psychologically wrong that needs to be addressed, and just to kind of and kind of put the discussion out there rather than just saying and say but still take responsibility of what you are doing. Because I mean, when a person comes in and does the most heinous thing, and then they point it to one of these issues, it is one of the most sickening things it makes me sick to my stomach. It's like you're not taking responsibility of any of that. It's like it's ridiculous. It is flat out ridiculous, and that's what I'm worried about. And that's where I feel like it's so easy to put the trigger to gaming, saying that was the reason why that person did what he did. Yeah. So I mean, that's just that's just me. I mean, is there anything else you wanted to add to it?
No, that was the gist of it. Yeah.
Yes. Oh, I hope I'm not making enemies on that. But that's just
no. I don't think so. I totally understand what you're saying, and yeah, I totally feel the same way, because you know that someone is going to take advantage of that in some way, shape, or form. And then obviously there's going to be other people looking for the monetary value in it. Because it absolutely has, financial implications that'll be tied to that, I'm guessing. So, yeah, I totally get that.
Okay, cool. That's good. That's good to know. So, all right, that's a really good discussion. I like that one, Frankie. Very nice.
Thank you.
Yes. Okay, and before we do our last topic, just wanted to let everyone know again that you want Smitty, Frankie, or I to discuss on this episode, you can always check up at the top to CFG Gamecast specific area where we filter everything out. Just type in what you want us to hear, what you want us to talk about. We won't call y'all out or anything saying, oh, this person wants to say ask us to do this, but we want to hear what you think, what you think we should discuss, and if you have want to know what our opinions are. So just go onto the top area to CFG Gamecast, and we will discuss it at the end of our topic here. So the last topic is going to be my topic itself. And it is about I don't know how we would not talk about this topic for this week. Was about TFue and FaZe Clan. Have you heard of it? Have you heard of that, Frankie?
No, I'm the one that knows nothing about this. In all honesty, I don't follow too many of the popular Twitch players, so I'm not too familiar with this. So you guys are gonna be teaching me everything right now.
I'm not really big on. I mean, I know who TFue is, but I don't really watch it because I don't really play Fortnite. But TFue is a big Fortnite player. He streams a lot of Fortnite, and he's sponsored. He's teamed up with FaZe Clan and is part of a clan specifically for Fortnite. So he does his own streaming. He goes to tournaments, and he goes to different kinds of things and social media and stuff on behalf of FaZe Clan. So his foot is in the so he's in a professional. He's a professional gamer that streams Fortnite. So it's all cool. But beginning of the week, and it seems like it's getting worse. Like not really worse, but it's getting crazier and crazier when you hear about it. TFue, with his lawyer, is suing his company, FaZe Clan, because he was saying that it was limiting him to getting like opportunities to like outside opportunities to of revenue because of the thing that he signed with that clan. Not only that, but the split that he gets for everything he does, the stream, the games. Let's say he gets first place and so on, he only gets 20% out of it. So it's a 20-80 split of it. So FaZe Clan gets 80, he gets 20, and so there was something on. Surprisingly enough, ESPN even put a thing about it, and then there was a point of that he pointed out, and he says, "We're shocked and disappointed to see the news of TFue's press article and lawsuit." This is on FaZe Clan's side. This is over the course of our partnership with him. We began in 2018. FaZe Clan has collected 0 tournament winnings, Twitch revenue, YouTube revenue, and from the side of the social platform, zero. So he's saying that they didn't touch anything. And he says we have only collected a total of $60,000 from our partnership, while TFue has earned millions as a member of FaZe Clan. While contracts are different with each player, all of them, including TFue's, have a maximum of 20% to FaZe Clan in both tournament winnings as well as content revenue, with 80% to the player. In Turner's case, neither of those have been collected by FaZe Clan. So FaZe is throwing shade back to TFue on this, but overall, it's still a 20-80 split that is supposed to. They're still saying that it's supposed to be that TFue's getting more of the money, and I can't. I believe I think I'm on TFue's side on this because it's like it has to be bad. It has to be bad. Just like the Riot thing with Riot Games, and when 5 people stepped up and said like, this is just a toxic work environment. It has to be bad for you to say I need to sue these people so I can get better opportunities on where I'm at. Like, I mean, this isn't like a one-time instance. This has been something that he probably dealt with a year of traveling with FaZe Clan and stuff like that. Now, I'm not going to judge until everything is out and says what's going on. But from what I'm gathering, there's more to it than what's going on, because there's no way that they're coming out as angels on this. The biggest thing that this reminds me of, like I was hinting at you, Smitty, earlier, was this kind of reminds me of NWA. You remember, like, back in the day? You know what I'm talking about? Yeah.
Yes, the break.
It's kind of the same kind of, the same kind of break. It's the same kind of break because this is the beginning of this is like right now we're in an infantile state of professional gamers needing to be in clans, needing to be in groups. They may not know the business side as well as they want to know the business side of it. And then when the business wants to come and swoop you in, they promise you the world and with a cherry on top. And then all of a sudden at the same time, you'll be surprised that you're really getting screwed. I kind of feel that this is the same kind of thing with like how it was with the NWA. Like they were getting jacked. They were playing for peanuts. They were doing world tours and they were getting nothing. Mm-hmm. So I don't, and this isn't the first one that was complaining about this. So I just personally think that they're in this weird state until they get to this kind of balanced medium where it's going to be a flat rate, that this is what people are wanting as the professional to the business side. So that's where I'm kind of going off. So just wanted to get y'all's thoughts about this. Like when you hear something like this.
So, and I think this is going to be a good education point for a lot of streamers of all levels, especially when you start, a lot of people get into this for the entertainment, to be able to play games, this and that. When you start getting and progressing in levels and you know what I mean, you start getting out there a little bit and stuff like that, the business part of it is going to come into play. And I know for me, even, within acting, photography and stuff like that, those are some of my weaker areas, things that I never even thought about. An 80-20 contract is terrible. I'm sorry, I don't
Yeah,
care.
yes,
I mean, the way
general.
I see it is FaZe is acting as almost like a talent agent for TFue, right? So if you put that into acting terms, what talent agencies maybe get 15-20% of everything they're booking you on stuff and whatnot. Like an 80-20 is crazy. That is
Yeah,
absolutely
same.
bonkers to me that somebody would accept a contract like that. You're only getting 20% of the work that you're putting in. They're getting 80%. Nah, that's not
Yeah,
the
but
way
then
it's
again,
supposed to work.
yeah, but like 3 years ago, there was no such thing as a professional gamer, or
Right.
3 or 4 years ago. It's very, very like these people that have been like either in the gaming underground time kind of had the most censor out of it, but at the same time I think there's a lot of green fresh ears of people that are professional gamers but
Mm-hmm.
don't know the back end stuff, and I think that this would be the time of people taking people for granted and opportunities and stuff like that for this new people, like free money essentially.
Right.
I
Yeah,
mean,
and that's exactly right, and it's because it is again new and fresh, and it's still kind of on the bottom half of it's still kind of on the ground floor and building, and people are still learning and exploring. Not to mention, these are pretty young kids. I feel like myself, I'm on the older end, I guess you can say, of streaming and getting into stuff. But a lot of people that are on here are young, so they they haven't been exposed to contracts, things like that. You know what I mean? It's like if you're dealing with stuff like that, I know me personally, I would have a lawyer take a look at it. I'm definitely reading it multiple times, just to make sure that I understand, what I am, agreeing to and what they're saying, and not being afraid to say, wait a second, 80-20, you guys get 80% of my salary or 80% of what I make out of everything. And don't get me wrong, they make a claim, a good claim for, hey, we made TFue. He was only averaging about 100 viewers before he became a part of FaZe, and absolutely that is 100% correct. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna. But I mean, that's just a shitty ass contract. And you
Did you see how long
you
the
duped them.
contract is?
Yeah, huh?
How long is the
I think
contract?
3 years they said. Wait. So it was a
Oh.
6 month. It was 6 month period. If he auto re-signed after 6 months to 3 years to 36 months, is what the contract is. So what they were saying was that he's
And
basically.
when that happened, like when they go into effect, like how long is it into the
Dude, this is
contract?
like last year. Like they're only like a
last
year
year.
deep
Only
into
been
the
like a year.
contract. Yeah,
Okay.
and like they were saying that like basically he wanted out of the contract like immediately, because somebody probably said, "What the hell are you thinking? That is a terrible contract."
Yeah.
But I mean, again, and I think what this boils down to as well is that again, FaZe Clan has certain sponsors that they're working with. He's gotten huge now. Now he's got all these other people that are coming at him like, hey, blah 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 blah, yada yada yada. Hey, you can't do that because that's a conflict of interest with FaZe Clan sponsorship. Now he's getting salty, like, what do you mean, man? You're taking away my opportunities and this and that. It's like, look, dude, you signed a contract. You knew what the obligations were, what it meant. And he's only a year deep into this contract, and I think it's more of him just trying to be able to get out of it, really. So, because they're supposed to be friends and this and that, but again, friends become enemies real quick when money and contracts and stuff are involved.
But isn't it kind of weird to you that they would actually stipulation saying, oh, that it's going to auto renew for 3 years? That's quite crazy, in my opinion, or when I think about it. It's like, how do you sign something like that? Like,
I know.
you're like, okay, so like, so what would be what would be the why you would say no? I don't. Like, you would have to vocalize that yourself, or would you have to sign something or whatever to kind of say to prove your dissatisfaction towards it? Because it's kind of weird that like in the 6 months period that everything was all good and gravy, and then all of a sudden 6 months after that, when all these levels of endorsements and stuff, because I mean he's always been up on the top. This wasn't like he gradually came up and stayed up there. He's been up on that ladder for a long period of time. So I don't understand like why, or like it must have been like unless something random said, hey, Nike wants to make a team and he wants you to be the face of it. I don't know, but it just seems it seems like it's out of nowhere, and that's where it's like I don't know how you can not do that? Like, it's just like, I guess it's just maybe the logic frame of mind to me. It just doesn't seem like it makes sense to me, you know?
Well, usually when you have a contract, there are ways to break it. Have they talked about that at all? Because I'm sure there's probably a payout or something he could do. Like,
Oh no.
well, if you
You
break it, you gotta pay this much, and he might prefer that to go and
I,
do his thing. Or
I think the way that he kind of set this up is like he just wanted to burn the bridge, because like the
yeah,
way
Right.
like when the bridge was burnt, and then when you put it out, because like the last thing you want to do is everyone that doesn't know what's happening, like us, to criticize what's happening, because we don't have any of the information.
yeah,
But what we're hearing is because I mean, and especially in the climate that we live in nowadays, you're innocent until proven guilty. It's going to be like it's wildfire. It's like right now. So like until we get to that point where everything is out in the open and this is what's happening, which I'm pretty sure we're never going to hear. It's going to be like it's going to be it's going to be out there. So but so I mean, I don't know, man. It just seems so crazy to me that like what's going on. I'm kind of glad, like, when things like this happens, it makes things better in the future. So and to be optimistic, I'm kind of glad that something like that has happened, because now the conversation is out here to
Right.
so now people in the future will not experience this in any way, you know. So like I feel that's the one good thing that's going to come out of this. But like what sucks is just like, man, you burned the bridge. FaZe is not a small group. FaZe is a very important, it's a very big clan that's been around forever, since Call of Duty and
They've
stuff
got the
like
clout.
that.
They've
So
got the clout.
yeah, they do. They like, it's like you don't want to mess like if unless you're having ready to be in a fight with a big conglomerate kind of level
Right.
of group. Yeah, that's FaZe right there.
damn, I
So
feel like a loser not knowing who the hell FaZe was before the station.
well, I mean,
Nah, it's
I had no
understandable though
idea.
too.
I
don't
have
be
no idea.
no, don't be that. It's not that bad. I mean,
I'm just too
it's
old.
just
I'm too old.
yeah. I mean, no, FaZe has been around for like for years. They've been around for over
Yeah.
had to like Call of
Maybe
Duty
I've seen
3.
FaZe. I just can't think of it.
Yeah. So yeah, it's not bad. I mean, if you don't know them, you don't know them.
Yeah.
It's not your whole level of thing. So we'll see. I want to see where this is going to go. I really hope that like the biggest thing is I hope that this changes for the better in the future, so things like this we don't see consistency of things like this happening more commonly, you know, because like I mean, I think for the most part it's been fair, it's been fairly quiet on when you're hearing these kind of explosions when it comes to gaming side. So
Yeah, I mean, again, I think as it becomes more mainstream and becomes more popular, we'll start seeing people being educated on this stuff and saying, wait a second, here's a standard, here's the standard industry standard for a contract or whatever. It's still it's still developing, it's still growing. People are they're clearly taking advantage of people as far as with that stuff. So I think some sort of standards might be adopted. I think that's the best that can come from something like this. And then, he gets to go his way and make his million. FaZe keeps making their millions. Everybody's rich.
yeah. Well, I know he's not on the team anymore, but
Right.
Yeah, we'll see. But we'll see how this is going to go. So, alrighty, that is the end of our conversation. Is there anything inside the TFG Gamecast topics?
There's nothing
Smitty?
there's nothing in the room, but I'm just gonna pose the question then to chat if there's anything that you guys saw this week that you guys want us to discuss or talk about. I'm trying to think. I mean, there's been a few things that happened this week as well. This was, the TFue thing was definitely something that I had thought about talking about and whatnot. So it's interesting. Definitely an interesting topic. But yeah,
that's.
I got a quick one. A couple weeks back, I was on the show. I was helping out, and my topic was Sonic the Hedgehog movie. We were talking about how they are redesigning Sonic because he looks ridiculous. And it was confirmed yesterday that he looks so ridiculous that it's going to take a year to make him look better. So the game is, the movie based off of a game is now delayed till 2020. So that's
Yep.
some update on that.
Well, I find funny about that because, like I said, something yesterday on private chat that when I saw that, I was like, I remembered when we were talking about that, and I said, I don't think this is gonna last. This is gonna come in 5 months.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so I called, yeah. So I messaged Smitty and Sesh about it, and then I said, it's like, hey, called it, and then I say, it's like, hey, can you pick up that phone? Because I freaking called it. 'Cause
Yep. Yep.
It's like because like I was like that was just money, if anything. So
I mean, we knew that. I mean,
Pause.
again, we're talking about the main character. There's no way they were going to be able to make the main, redo the main character. And basically, he's probably going to be in damn near every scene. You know what I mean? That's a lot of work and a lot of changes. So it's like, there's no way that it's going to come out on time. I'm glad that they announced that early instead of waiting until like a month out and being like, oh, we mistimed it. We're going to need more time, because people will be like, So I'm fine with them calling it now and being like, look, we're going to have to take some time. We can go ahead and push it back.
I wonder if they're
Every
going to
time.
pull trailers now, because I just watched Detective Pikachu a couple days back, and I saw the trailer for Sonic. So I'm like wondering if they're going to start taking that trailer off.
well, they're
because
definitely
of
gonna take the trailer
redesign?
off. Yeah, definitely.
Right?
Because I mean, it's like
It's not gonna look like
come out
that.
until it's not gonna come. It's not gonna look like
Yeah.
that, and we have till February until it comes out.
Did they say February of next year? Is that the what
Yeah,
is it?
it's
Okay.
it's just February of next year. Dude's
Alright.
coming. Yeah, so we'll see how it all goes. So he says, y'all talk Game of Thrones already? It's like, no, we will not
We
talk
could.
Game of Thrones.
Let's talk Game of Thrones.
I mean,
I'm
I
not
totally
talking about
could.
Thrones.
Let's do it.
He
Let's
said,
do
I'm
it.
not talking
I'm a
about
book
it.
reader and a watcher. Let's do it.
Oh,
We're not
snap.
talking Game of
The show, the last episode was a disappointment, but
We
could have been
can't.
worse.
I wanted
We
to
can talk
Okay.
for hours. Let's do it.
How about this? How about
No
this? Okay,
spoilers.
how about this specifically?
I'm joking. I know you guys don't want to talk about
Nah, I
it. It's all
know.
good.
We'll do this. We could talk about Game of Thrones, but we have to give it. We got to give it a month. I like or something because
Okay.
because I know some people. Well, some people want to see that. I mean,
Right.
I'm not gonna ruin it for those people.
I'm the same way. I am sensitive to that as well. So again, yeah. I will, yeah. Yep.
All right.
Yeah. No, so we'll definitely talk Game of Thrones, and I'll put a pin on that. So day night, just let you know. So we are going to do that. But okay, we'll stop this stream there. But definitely tune in. We're going to be back again next Saturday, Saturday evening on CFG Games on my Twitch, CFG Games. You can definitely check out Smitty's awesome content. Plays Overwatch and Division 2, Smitty2447, and Super Frankie, who's currently playing some FF9, which is actually
Yes.
really fun to watch. So
I've been
yeah,
playing Final Fantasy 9. I'll be probably after this. I'll be on there myself, streaming it. So check it out.
yes, awesome. So yeah, so thank you so much, and as always, Frankie, Smitty, by and joining with the conversation. And
Thank you for having us.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes. All right, and we will see you next week. This is Davis signing off, y'all. Take it easy. Blowing kisses. Who are you?
Mwah. Mwah.
Okay, cool. You know what's funny? Yeah. So I just stopped it. I'm saving immediately. I always save Audacity immediately, so I do not screw this up.
Yeah, don't screw it up.
What time
Don't
of day
screw
is
it
it?
up.
I like Munchy Tacos. Munchy Tacos. Ned Stark might perish. So I like that one. Let's see, Monster Hunter. Let's see. I just like to chill, see what's on the chat.
Monster Hunter is
just
on
here-
sale, 50% off. I was like, ooh,
Oh, yeah,
I
like-
fired it up today. I ended up not playing it though.
I'm tempted to buy it on PC just to look at the game.
I cannot play
I
that
bet it
game
looks
again.
gorgeous.
It's like
I
my
know.
biggest problem
Yeah.
with it is its story. Like, oh man, I can't go through that whole
I
thing
have
again.
like 400
Yeah.
plus hours in that game, and that was back. I put those 400 hours in the first month and a half. I have not touched the
Right.
game.
Y-
The only thing
yeah.
I've done, when Devil Joe was announced, I went back in to play Devil Joe, and then I haven't played it. I haven't touched the game since. So that's been
Yep.
almost a year now.
Yep.
So like,
Yeah, so
I'm just at this point, I'm just gonna wait till the expansion comes out, and then I'm gonna put in another 400 plus hours, and then we'll get it.
That's where
Yeah,
I was
that's
like,
cool.
I started like, I was like, I'll play it a little bit just to, cause I'm still like at like
That's my
only like a
jam.
level 15, dude. So it's like, let me get back into it, try to max level out or whatever, get ready for the expansion, and then like totally be like full force back into it when it comes out.
mhm. Oh no, I totally agree. I'm trying to get. I played a little bit yesterday, which was perfect. Definitely like that.
Are you on PS4 still, or are you playing on PC now?
Oh no, I'm playing on PS4.
I'm on PS4 as well. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm saying I'm not gonna. I mean, I already have a high HR character in the hundreds. I'm not gonna redo that.
Yeah.
Right.
I just want to see it. I want to play it. I want to try an actual 4K, not checkered board bullshit.
Yeah. Don't blame me
honestly,
on that.
it looks great still on PS4. I've never had a problem with how it looks. I just know it could look better and run at a higher frame rate with my
definitely.
PC setup.
I just like the teams. Like I have a lot of people playing on PS4.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna...
And just convenient. Consoles are always more convenient. It's just how it is.
Yeah.
Like
and there's a lot of people on it.
Yeah. Muchitaka FaZe Banks is the right in this one. So okay, on the thing. Yeah. Like I said, I'm not going to. I said, like how things are going right now. It's like I kind of where like that with Smitty where it says where the guy's probably seeing the level of what he could be making, and he's getting kind of mad, like he's kind of mean mugging, but at the same time, he's like he's going to get out of it because he's going to raise the biggest stink by burning the bridge with FaZe.
Right.
So like this is a learning factor for both sides. So I mean, FaZe could be the enemy of all of this. So it's like saying you're going to have to honor your contract because you made the stupid decision. But at the same time, 80-20 is a crazy split. So I mean, it's not he wasn't thinking correctly at all. Like he did not. I don't think longevity wise he was thinking correctly at all whatsoever. So I mean, I don't know. We'll see.
I agree.
Yeah. There's no more Big Bang Theory. Oh yeah, no more Big Bang.
Thank God.
Oh, thank you for the love, King Chaos. Much love,
why
my
do people
friend.
hate that? Why do people hate
I don't hate it. It just dragged on. I watched quite a bit of it, and then I'm like, okay, it's the same thing. I don't know. The jokes got old, I think, as a whole. But and it sucks because there are some people I like in it, like actors. So
I thought it was season 5, so I'm not really sure.
Yeah.
Oops.
Did you watch Young Sheldon? Have you watched Young Sheldon?
No, I haven't watched Young Sheldon yet.
Supposedly it's good. I've never seen it.
I know how to say your name. Sorry.
What have you guys been watching? What do you guys watch recently?
I haven't really been watching anything.
Game of Thrones.
Yeah, Game of Thrones.
I just finished watching. It's Tuca and Birdie, which is from the people who did BoJack Horseman, and I just finished watching It's Bruno, which is like a show about a pug. It's actually pretty good.
Which one is so when's BoJack coming back? That's the real question.
I don't know. I know they confirmed a new season. I don't know if they've released, but
you gonna watch the last season of Devil's the New Black? Or sorry, Devil's
Orange
New Black.
Orange
the New
Black.
I've never
Devil's the New Black. That is racist, sir. That is racist, sir.
I've never seen that. The new season of BoJack Horseman is coming out later this year, but there's no date. I know. I think in July, the final Netflix Marvel show is coming out.
Which one? Jessica Jones?
Yes, Jessica Jones season 3 is coming out in July. No.
Okay.
Have you seen Tuca and Birdie?
Disney Plus or Hulu gets it or whatever. Someone better freaking get those because I love them.
Oh yeah. Tuca and Birdie is the one that Frankie.
Tuca and Birdie, yeah. That's a pretty solid. Like it. Have you ever seen BoJack Horseman, guys? I know you. I'm guessing you have.
Who hasn't?
Okay. Have you, Smitty? Smitty, have you seen BoJack?
Yes, I love BoJack.
So
I love BoJack.
Tuca and Birdie, you watch it because you're like, oh, it's BoJack. It's like in the same world as BoJack, same artwork and stuff. You watch a few episodes, okay, this is totally
Doc
different.
coming in with that
it was more like a
raid.
Humor,
Thank
like
you so much, my friend. I don't have my alerts going
but
right
then,
now.
Like, I
was gonna raid you, Doc.
It gets
what are you
really
doing?
dark, and I'm like, okay,
what are you
it's
doing?
BoJack now. It's BoJack now. So
yo,
it's really
Phenom,
good.
what is good? How are you?
10 episodes.
Oh, hey, girl.
Oh, yeah, he was on mute.
Oh yeah, he didn't want to. Oh, why?
No,
how are you guys?
No,
how was your
rated.
stream, Doc?
Oh, what?
He got rated.
Oh, okay.
I did. I don't have any of my alerts or anything on though. I totally don't have my alerts or anything.
The female, yeah. Sorry about the alert. You can switch back. To
I was going. I know. I was going to raid Doc. That was my plan.
Oh, nice. Oh wow, that's funny. The female phenom though is freaking awesome.
I love yes.
Yeah, I love her. Her kid is really cool, and then I like her. I like her Sims content. It's really nice.
Yes, she is fantastic. I
Yeah.
can't wait to meet her. She's gonna be down at TwitchCon this year.
Man, I should have met TwitchCon. Yeah, I'm not gonna go. I can't go this year. I'm gonna be coming from Japan. I wish.
Oh
I wish
yeah,
I would.
that's
I would love
right.
to meet her.
That's right.
Yeah, so it's pretty
I know,
nice.
Day. Yeah, we're just wrapping up. That's how I was saying. I was about to go raid you, man. Much love, though. Thank you so much, my friend. I hope you had a great stream.
Yes, that's so great. That's so great. All right. Well, that is going. Yeah, Japan. I'm looking forward to it. I'm thinking about doing. If I should do a video of that while there. But
yeah.
Lucky days going to Japan.
I know.
Yeah.
Take me with you. Put me in your luggage.
I haven't gone for 10 years. It's been 10 years and 7 days since I've been to Japan.
Oh, really? Jeez.
Yeah. 10 years.
Was One Piece Tower there when you were there?
No.
I really want to go to One Piece Tower.
Fudge, I wish it was. You made me jelly. One Piece.
Oh,
I mean, One Piece was
Delia.
big 10 years ago, but man, it's like ginormous at this point.
Yeah, no kidding.
That was before the time skip, when I went.
I like the female phenom. Have you watched All or Nothing yet? Let me know. Please let me know if you've seen it. If you have, tell me. Let me know what you think, because that's the one thing because I watched Money in the Bank, and then after the show was done, I canceled my WWE subscription because I was so mad. I was just like, forget it. Yeah, dude, oh my god. Look, man, it's just me. It's just me. I don't know if it's just me, but I know there's a lot of disappointment with WWE because I've gotten back into wrestling, but I've given WWE benefits of the doubt. It's like, come on, it's got to get better. It's got to get better. But when they do some of this decision making, oh my gosh, I was just like, when I saw who won Money in the Bank, I was like, done. I'm not doing this anymore. I'm done.
Not into wrestling at all, but from what I was hearing from other people and podcasts and such, that the most recent WrestleMania was the best in a while. Is that true, or is that just?
I guess
heard
so,
that.
but that's not saying much.
I was hearing it was good compared to the past couple years.
Yeah.
Oh really? No, it's been mediocre for several years now. Problem is competition, and I feel that AEW is going to be the one that's going to break it because it's going to go back to see on TNT. It has more money coming in than WWE. With WWE's per capita, and I really feel like they have a chance to change something. And I really, and if it's going to force WWE to listen more than to just be the guy say, oh, screw you, we know what we're doing. We've been doing this for 20 years, so we know what we're doing. Then so be it. But there's a level of disconnect. And there's also a level of disconnect to not only the fans, but the level of disconnect to the people, to their own employees within the company. So that's where I feel like it's where it's going to get better. It's gotten to a point where it is at a crap level. It has to be getting better here within the next year. I don't know, I don't know if you know TNA, but TNA was basically the crappiest of them all. And but now, because of the changes that they did, it's actually it's more respectable than what it was a year ago. It's this is the same kind of thing that WWE has to do, because the biggest problem right now is that WWE has no superstars because they're not training their biggest superstars. They're keeping the people that's been around for 20 years,
right?
Still keep on pushing it, and I'm just like, oh, you so ridiculous. I don't know. I mean, that's my nerd moment for wrestling.
No,
so, yeah. Yeah, so definitely going with it.
That's how I kind of feel like the NBA is. So the NBA is now, to me, become so much more. It's more about the entertainment value than it is the sport of basketball and good fundamentals and stuff like that. I feel like it's the only professional sport where you start out. In college, you're going hard, you're trying to get the trophy, you're trying to win it all, and then you get to the next level, and the next level you get to dial it back now and be lazy and travel, and you could do all this stuff. Nobody plays defense, it's just all about building mega teams and stuff like that. It's lazy. It just feels lazy to me, I guess. I don't know.
Well, the break, I think, with NBA is, I think, to be honest with you, the person to blame on that is Steph Curry. because because he basically changed the system. He basically changed the system of like big man. I'm
Wait,
sorry,
what do you
that's just
mean?
how it
Wait,
works.
who? You said Steph Curry? What do you mean? How?
Yes. I'm not saying he purposely did it. It's just that, like, when Steph Curry changed his system, when the Golden State was the one that basically implemented no big man, like 6 years ago, when Steph Curry, when all that was drafted, like remember the biggest people were like the biggest formations that most people were worried about was like big centers, big power forwards, and stuff like that, like Dwight Howard's and stuff like big men to defend. But then then that system kind of changed and pivoted towards shooting. Mostly it's basically an outshoot and outgun them, and worried about speed as opposed to it. Steph Curry was a dude that they have never seen before when they came in, be shooting these with three point shots galore. Like he was learning that stuff when he first came in, so they couldn't have a big man to keep up with that, because you're going to outshoot him by like another 30 or 40, like another 2 times more than what the normal team would go with. So I mean that's what I think, because like I mean you don't see these big men anymore in the NBA. You don't worry about that kind of stuff. It's all fast paced, and it's all about shooting as opposed to defense.
See,
So,
and like to
know.
me, it's. I mean, even part of that though, I think it's still part of the bigger problem of these teams building these super teams. You know what I mean? Like you didn't like they're like teams are now like you have like 3 or 4 teams that are just built full of all stars. So you're getting these like mega teams coming together. Like to me, that's where the issue is. I mean, even with Golden State, like that's a ridiculous team, but they were a young team. So that's where it worked at first, I thought.
Yeah, but look at what they did though. I mean, like when you're saying the teams, like super teams, was like you would think that it would be like, oh, LeBron would be in the mix of.
He absolutely was. Look at Miami here a few years ago with D Wade and all the, you know what I mean? Like they built another mega team. And then the other mega team was better than that mega team.
Oh no! Well, I think like the East. Well, the East has always been until now, because the East has have a big diversity of really good teams. Personally, like I mean, like the Raptors are great. Milwaukee, the Bucks. Come on, dude, you can't say the Bucks is a super team because they learned from ground zero. 76ers are really good. I mean, like they have a lot of diversity. Celtics, if anybody, also not really a super team. I think that where they're at now is like they're needing to find a way to respond to what Golden State is. The biggest problem is Golden State, because everyone else has been pretty balanced. Like I mean, like so I kind of would disagree about the super team, but I feel like they just can't. They just have no answer of Golden State's offense.
That's true.
That's just where the honesty is coming on. You know. So,
that's true.
Like, yeah, that's just me.
Yeah.
Just say it.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
And surprisingly enough, I'm not a basketball fan. And I know all this.
Yeah. You're a basketball fan.
Sorry.
That's a lie.
No. Yeah. He's an undercover basketball fan.
You're unwillingly a basketball fan.
Hey, if you know, the funniest thing is like it's just learning. It's just like I could talk about wrestling all day.
You took
about
the
video
time
gaming,
and energy to learn that shit. Okay.
If someone asks me about like croquet and then stuff, I'll be like, "Oh yeah, well, this dude, so and so Niedermeyer is like the point guard. It's like is the Kobe of that division, of that kind of thing." I don't know. That's just me. I just know I like to learn, so I learn. I know what's going on. It's like I don't like being caught off guard. Is where it comes to. Like I can talk about football. I can talk about all these different kinds of stuff.
Right.
But I understand it. But yeah, not a big basketball fan. The only time I care about basketball is playoffs. I don't watch any of the season.
Yeah. I feel you on that. That's when it really counts. That's when they actually start playing. That's when the season starts.
I wanted to see pics of Kitty Chaos. Who's Kitty Chaos?
No.
Someone on here?
Yeah. The roast beef. The roast beef it's been in the oven for like a good hour. She's starting to smell it.
Oh, that's funny. Okay,
with that.
I'm gonna eat some dinner, so yes, that's good.
Yeah.
But everyone, thank you so much.
Thank you
so much for stopping by on the stream. Thanks, Smitty, as always, for hosting.
Absolutely.
we will see you all next week on CFG Games. So definitely stay tuned then.
Peace out.